Hey guys, Debs here bringing you a video, and I'm sorry I haven't uploaded in a while. I've just been really busy with school, but now I'm back and I'm here to show off two LEGO creations, in fact, two Vic Vipers. And every November the LEGO community has something called November, except with two V's, and those V's stand for Vic Viper, which is a specific kind of spaceship. And I'm not probably the person you should be asking, what exactly constitutes a Vic Viper and the origins and stuff like that. There is a Vic Viper group on Flickr, so I recommend you check that out if you want to learn more. From what I understand, a Vic Viper has two front prongs, wings, thrusters, and a tail fin. And that's about all I know. And this is the first year I've contributed to November, and I've wanted to for a while now, but I'm not the best at building LEGO space or whatever. I've tried many times to build LEGO spaceships and have failed consistently because God only knows why. I have a lot of hard times building in this genre. But this year, I got inspired twice, and I think I built two excellent Vic Vipers, this being my first ever. And the name of this one is the Black Diamond, as you can see, the two black diamonds right there. And the cockpit actually opens, which was quite a challenge, and does fit a minifigure. So I'm really proud I managed to get that, especially on my first try, so that's pretty good. Another detail you'll notice here is that the front prongs twist downward. And I did that just with clips and clips attached to a bar. It's nothing major, but it adds a neat effect. And then I have these diagonal bars going there with a 1x2x3 brick that slopes up into a 1x1. Just have a clip on either side, and you can kind of diagonally attach a bar. Although it's a tight fit, it barely reaches. There's not too many techniques I'll say I had in this, so I'll show you the underside, which is probably the worst part of this. It has a weird white pattern going on down there. I'd say the main technique I'd use is that the mudguard right here, which is what I used for the round part of the cockpit, to equal that in plates, you have to use a jumper plate, which is a 1x2 with a center stud, and that equals the height of this mudguard right here, which was kind of annoying to build around, but I managed to get it to work out. I used a lot of tube-in-tube, like on these lights here, which tube-in-tube is where you use a 3mm flex tube covered with 4mm rubber hose, and that equals a stud so you can fit a brick over it, which is a pretty cool technique, but I've kind of become dependent on it lately, or I guess not so much lately. I've had some builds that don't use it, but just the temptation to use it instead of trying to think of something else is very, very great. So in this build, I couldn't really avoid it. I probably could have flipped the thrusters so that the studs out were that way, but I was very limited on black pieces for this creation, and I didn't want to use Bricklink, which I did end up using for my second Vic Viper, which I'll show you here in a minute. But for this one, I wanted to make it entirely Bricklinkless, or whatever you want to call not building with Bricklink. And on the back here, you can see the thrusters, which I think look pretty cool. And originally, I didn't realize it needed a tail fin to be classified as a Vic Viper. So this was supposed to be another thruster, but I had to improvise at the last minute. So yeah, be sure to read the rules of a group before you try to submit a creation or whatever. And I guess one more technique is the diamonds. I just put around a Lego rubber band to give it the white outline. It's not much of a technique, it's just kind of cool little detail you can add. But that's my first Vic Viper. I think it turned out very well. And yeah, I guess I'll move on to the second one. Alright, now my second Vic Viper is a little bit smaller. I guess I can bring out the other one for size comparison. Just a little bit. I'll rotate the camera slightly. So you can see this Vic Viper is just a little bit bigger. But, bigger doesn't necessarily mean better. And I really like the way my second one turned out. and it's called the Aquas, and it's a water-themed Vic Viper, as you can see. It's got these cool skulls that kind of merge into this like water tank right here, which I think looks really cool, which was my main inspiration for this, along with this piece, which are from, I don't actually know the name of the Bionicle sets, but it was just like an alien that could roll up into a ball, and it was covered by like this. It's like brain was covered by that piece. And it makes for a really cool kind of fin effect, like kind of like a fish. And then I have more transparent stuff in the back here, like the tail fin's almost entirely transparent, which is pretty cool. And other than this small little technique here, I have another kind of cool technique with this windscreen, just this blue little window here, merging with this blue bubble, which I think works really well. And then on the bottom there's another blue tube down there, a transparent blue tube. So the whole idea is a sea creature can go fly out into space, which is, I think, kind of a cool idea. I'll try opening the cockpit. It doesn't actually open in a conventional way, which kind of sucks, but I think it would be pretty hard to build it any other way. So here we have this squid guy who's the pilot or whatever. That wasn't really in frame. But here's the squid guy, he's the pilot. He's got that on his back because I couldn't find a plain blade torso. You know, forget him. That pilot was very last second because I finished this the day before November ended. And I had to rush a bit. I wanted to have the shark minifig be the pilot, but I couldn't find him. I had no idea where he went. So, oh well. You know, time constraints are kind of a pain. I'm trying to think of other stuff. I'm really disappointed right here. It's just so dull. I wanted to kind of continue this trans blue all the way over to here, but that didn't really work out. And another problem is right here. This part just doesn't flow well. And LEGO does offer a blue version of this windscreen that instead of ending in a point, ends in a 1x2. Which would have been great, but I believe they're kind of expensive on Bricklink, and I just wasn't willing to splurge that much. And plus, you know, it kind of would have ruined the trans blue on the inside. Not by much, but it would have made it less apparent. So whatever. The back, I think, actually looks pretty cool. I like the small, minimal thrusters back here. I think those look pretty cool. Unfortunately, blue on the inside. I can actually add, like, any, like, thruster, I don't want to say fuel, but I can't think of the proper word. Like on the Black Diamond, there's those red little whatevers that propel the ship forward. Can't think of an adequate name for that. I also really like the wings here, how this kind of flows into whatever you want to call that piece. I think it looks really cool looking straight down like that. And I guess that's really all I have to say about my two Vic Vipers. There's some more subtle techniques in this one, I would say. Like there's some chicanery going on with this bracket here and that bracket here. But it's nothing really too complex, just some basic LEGO math. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I know I sure as hell enjoyed making these Vic Vipers. And they proved to be a real challenge. So that's always good. A challenging build is always good. Let's hope I can actually reconstruct this one real quick. Alright, there we go. And I'll try to get them both in frame here real quick for a final closing shot. Alright, there we go. I hope you enjoyed this video and have a safe and happy holiday.